Today we are here for an eviction suit. This eviction suit is based on a petition, which is a sworn complaint that was filed in my court. In this petition, you, the plaintiff, indicated that the defendant defaulted in the terms of the lease by the lease violations. You have indicated in this petition that they failed to maintain the home and keep the yard properly kept up. With that being said, I'm going to have everyone sworn in, and then we will proceed on with today's case. Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear and or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to explain how the case is going to flow. I'm going to give Ms. Regent the opportunity to speak first. It's going to be up to you, Ms. Regent, to provide proof to me that the defendants did default in the terms of their lease and that you gave them proper notice to move out prior to pursuing this suit. While you're speaking, Ms. Regent, I'm going to ask that you, the defendants, Mr. Keenan and Ms. Woodley, refrain from interrupting her. I need to make sure I hear everything that Ms. Regent is stating without interruptions. Okay, Mr. Keenan and Ms. Woodley?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, once Ms. Regent is through, I'm going to give you, the defendants, the opportunity to defend yourselves. It'll be up to you to provide proof to me that you should not be evicted based on the petition, which is non-compliance of your lease. While you're speaking, I'm going to ask that you, the plaintiff, Ms. Regent, refrain from interrupting them so that I can hear everything that they are saying. Okay, Ms. Regent?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It appears to be somewhat of an echo. If I can try to resolve that, I don't know on whose end, but we'll try to work out those technical difficulties as we move forward with this case. And now, with that being said, Ms. Regent, you may proceed with the case against the defendant.
Okay, so while we're here is because the tenants, so we were, the owner was receiving fines from the city, which I have included in the paperwork, and also Mr. Palacios pictures that he took of the property himself. So once we got those, we sent a notice to the tenants to let them know that the city was issuing the owner fines for the yard not being cleaned up, and we gave them a notice to clean up the yard. So we actually gave them multiple chances to get it cleaned up. We went over and I provided those photos as well. The yard is still not cleaned up. And so working with Mr. Louis Palacios at the city, he said our only alternative is to evict the tenants and then have it cleaned up ourselves, because we are not allowed to do anything while they're there. In the process of this, they also, we sent them, and I included that in the packet, a lease last year, which they never signed. And then they also have not paid now March and April's rent as well. So basically, we gave them the 30-day notice to try to get them out because they have not been able to clean up the yard. And if you look, you can see all of the photos that Mr. Palacios took from the city. And so we are forced to evict based off of this because they are not doing cleaning the yard up, and my owner is going to receive huge fines for this, and we're on a deadline. And so we've given them plenty of notice to do it, and it's still not removed, and the city is still calling.
And the notice to vacate, how was it sent to the tenants?
So it was sent to them through certified mail, also through, we also put it on their door as well.
Okay. And what day was the certified mail sent to them?
On, I believe, the same day, February 11th.
Okay,
And you have a 30-day notice there to vacate in the paperwork.
I see that. All right.
And we've spoke to them multiple times on the phone, trying to work out something that we could make work with them to get the place cleaned up. Our goal is not to evict anybody, but at the same time, the owner's going to get severe fines for this from the city. So it's a city issue more than an owner issue, although the property does need to be cleaned up because it's so much stuff in the back.
So this has been going on for almost 2 years now.
Correct. It's been going on a long time. So we've given them so many chances to get it cleaned up. They keep saying they're going to get it cleaned up and they're working on it. And then they will not respond to us. Then we'll get a hold of them. So it's been going on a long time. So we've just been forced because the city, I mean, they're forcing us with our hands are tied too with the city and the fines.
Okay.
And I provided all of those violations you can see in the paperwork.
All right. Let me hear from the defendants in this particular case, okay?
Mhm.
Mr. Keenan, Ms. Woodley,
Yes, sir.
here's your opportunity. Here's your opportunity to defend yourself. Go ahead.
Well, the only thing I have to say is I got one phone call from them that I need to clean up my yard, and I told them I was cleaning up my yard. I got all the cars moved, and I needed more time. Um, as far as not paying rent, as she called, if we're evicted by March 11th, then I don't see why I should pay more rent for March or April. Correct? If we're evicted, if we're evicted, we should have to pay rent. Correct?
Well, that's something that you and the property manager would have to agree upon.
Oh, okay. I don't understand. I don't understand that, but okay, that's fine.
Well, what I'm saying is that most leases, so the way it usually goes, and this is just the state of Texas, I don't know many other states. The lease is a binding contract between both parties, and both parties agree to do certain things. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is keep the house clean and pay your rent, you stay rent, you have a roof over your head, and they are supposed to make sure that you have a suitable place to reside in, clean water, sewer, and so forth, the roof, and things like that. So that's how it usually goes. So whenever the lease is actually terminated, if the landlord puts that stipulation in the notice to vacate, that you are still required to pay rent during this 30 days, then that's something that they're expecting you to do. So that's why I say that depends on what language was written with regards to that notice to vacate. Okay?
Okay. It says February 11th, you have 30 days to get out. That puts you at March 11th.
Okay.
So March 11th is the deadline. So no April rent because it's in March 11th. So that we can eliminate April. I paid a full month of February. They kicked to get me out 2 weeks earlier. So I don't understand that deal neither. If I paid February, that's a whole month of February, not 2 weeks of it didn't get out. Correct?
Well, let's talk about, are you still occupying the premises there?
No, I was out by March 11th, like the paperwork said.
You moved out?
Yes, sir.
So
And
we've
did
had no
you,
notice that you moved. Nobody told us that
Miss
you never
Region,
turned us, you moved.
Miss Region, I'm asking the questions right
Okay,
now.
sorry.
So had you notified, have you, that was my next question. You moved out, but did you turn the keys in and did you notify Miss Region that you moved out?
We left the keys in the mailbox, and we did not tell her that we was moving out because we was told to be out by the 11th. So we did what we were supposed to do. I did not know we were supposed to come back and say, "Oh, we're out now." The day y'all told us to be out, we are actually out. That was not in nowhere in nothing. No.
So you're saying you moved out March 11th, you put the keys in the property.
Yeah, the mailbox, yes, sir.
Your mailbox. And you hadn't been back to the property ever since.
No, sir. No, I was afraid I was going to get criminal trespassing charges after the 11th.
So
I checked the mail, but I haven't been inside the property.
Have do you all still have vehicles and stuff still on the property?
I have a trailer there. Yes.
Okay. And so is there anything valuable inside of the house that belongs to you?
No, sir.
So just that trailer that's still on the property.
Yes.
Okay. All right. When do you plan on moving this trailer?
Well, I mean, that's what I was afraid to go back after March 11th. I didn't want to get criminal trespassing charges. But I can go back and get it moved when I guess I can. I was in fear of going to jail for going back after the 30-day notice. I guess that's where I was at.
I got you. And you hadn't had any contact with the management office?
No, they very rarely contact me at all anyway. Over stuff that needs to be fixed in the house or anything else. I'm still waiting for a phone call from them to fix my hot water from like November.
Okay. So under oath, you and Ms. Woodley are telling me that you moved out. The only thing that's still there is a trailer, and you were afraid to go get the trailer, in fear of your violation of law of being criminally trespassed from the property.
Yes, basically yes.
There's still trash on the property, but that's it. Yes.
Okay. Miss Region, do you have someone like a maintenance personnel or anybody there that could actually go by there to verify that the keys are inside of the mailbox?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. I tell you what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna reset this case for 1 day. 1 day. I'm going to reset this case for 1 day. Today is Thursday, tomorrow being Friday. And so within the next, I know it's stressful, Mr. Keenan, but you are in court, so you're going to have to put that cigarette out.
Yes, sir.
So within the next 24 hours, matter of fact, I'm gonna reschedule this to next Monday. I'm gonna give you to the weekend to get your trailer and get it off the property. Okay. In the meantime, Ms. Region, verify that the keys are out of the property, or
Okay.
the keys are there at the property, and they've told you under oath that they're out. The only thing we need right now is the keys. So within the next 24 hours, between now and next Monday, Mr. Keenan, you need to go get your trailer off the property. Okay, you're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
be able to get your trailer. Go get your trailer, and anything
Hey,
else that's outside that you need to get it off the property.
that was my next question. Yes, I had trash and all that. Yes, yes.
Okay, so it may be raining a little bit this weekend, but between now and Monday, all right, now and Monday, I need you to go ahead and get all your stuff off. And then when you do that, contact Miss Region and let her know that, hey, my trailer is gone. I moved everything off. Thank you. God bless you. That's it.
Sir.
Once
Yes,
you
sir.
do that, and Miss Region confirms that she got the keys, we're good. Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
think it's a miscommunication. That's how I'm looking at this right now. And let's try to see how we can get this issue resolved best way possible. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I think that's fair enough. So you got up until Monday, 9 a.m., because that's whenever I'm going to reset this hearing, Monday, 9 a.m. If Ms. Region doesn't have the keys, and if your trailer is still on there, then we have to proceed on with the eviction, because that's part of it. Because you had moved everything off the property. And see, what happens is if you don't move everything off the property, then they have to, in turn, take the next legal action, which is to get the authorities involved to assist them in removing your stuff off the property. That's kind of how it goes. So I want to make sure you do get the opportunity because trailers are hard to come by and anything else that you might have. So you want to make
Yes,
sure you get your trailer and everything else. And so I think that that'll be fair for both sides if we do that. Okay.
yes, sir.
All right. So Monday, 9 a.m. That's what you have, Miss Region. If everything's good to go by Monday at 8:30, just send us an email. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Court's adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This case was reset based on sworn testimony at the last hearing. Give me 1 second, and then we'll start. Trill. I got technical difficulties. But 1 second. So at the last hearing, you, Mr. Keenan, informed the court under oath that you believe that you complied with the 30-day notice to vacate. However, there were some items left on the property, which was a trailer, and you were afraid to go back onto the property to get that trailer and some other items that were located outside of the property. The court reset the hearing to give you additional time to get your trailer. As you stated on oath that you did comply and was afraid of being criminally trespassed from the property.
Yes.
So with that being said, I'll start with you, Ms. Region. Have the plaintiffs complied fully with the notice to vacate?
No, sir. They said on Friday that the keys they were in the mailbox. So immediately I sent my assistant when we were in court still. There were no keys in the mailbox. She proceeded just to see if the front door was unlocked, opened the door and saw the photo that I sent you, took a photo of it, closed the door, and then took photos of all of the items still at the property on the outside. So to us, it appears that they are still there. There's still a couch in the living room. There's still just like someone is living there. Plus the keys were not put in the mailbox like the plaintiff said. I mean, like the defendant.
Defendants, yeah, that was my error. I did say plaintiffs, but it's the defendants I meant. So I excuse my error on that.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay.
And we also emailed you those photos to the court for you to see today.
I have those photos. I see them here. All right. Mr. Keenan,
Yes.
is there a reason why the keys were not in the mailbox?
We went back to get our keys because we was told to get our stuff out. So we did what we was told.
No,
No.
We just
no, sir. No, sir.
Excuse me.
That's not what you said. You
Yeah.
you
Go ahead.
said you said that I only have a trailer that I needed to get. That's what you said. That's what
Yes.
you said.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
said
What I
keys
said.
are in the mailbox and I need to get my trailer. And I informed you that you could get any items located outside of the home, not inside of the home. However, that apparently did not get relayed as you understood. So here's the thing.
Correct. Yes, sir.
We're going to go ahead and close this case out. Ms. Regent, even though you were only evicting for property only, what was the monthly rent for this property?
$750, I believe. I don't have it right in front of me. I had
Oh.
emailed that to you.
And the reason why I'm asking for that information is the state of Texas passed a law,
Mhm.
whereas on the judgments, it must state the rental amount due each month, regardless of how the case is filed.
Okay. I can second and I can tell you what it is.
I was looking at your,
Yeah, and I can tell you exactly what it is. I should have had the file in front of me, but I thought we were just going off of
no, you're fine. You're perfectly fine. 850 equates to rent. All right.
yes.
Okay, so with that being said, there's gonna be a judgment against you, the defendants. It's gonna be for property only, as well as court costs. You do have the right to appeal the court's decision. Appealing the court's decision means you disagree with the court's decision for ruling in favor for the plaintiff, in favor of the plaintiff. If you choose to disagree with the court's decision, which is filing the appeal, you will have to post an appeals bond of $1,700. In the event that you do not post the appeal bond in a cashier's check or money order form, and you appeal in any other form or fashion, you would be required to pay rent into the court's registry for the month of April, and that is $850. You have 6 days from today's date to appeal the court's decision. In the event that you do not appeal the court's decision and you are still occupying the premises, as Ms. Regent has informed me of today, then at that time, she would take the next legal actions against you, which is the filing of a writ of possession. If it gets to that point, the constable will serve you with a final notice, giving you 24 hours to move any and all items off of the property and inside of the property. In the event that you do not comply with the 24-hour notice, the constable will be back over there at a specific date and time that Ms. Regent and the constables agreed to. At that time, any vehicles, property that is owned by you would be removed from the property, such as the vehicles and so forth, at your expense. Meaning the owners of the cars, the SUVs, anything that is movable can be removed at the owner's expense, whoever owns that property. Anything inside of the home will be placed outside of the home in a designated location, usually on the front lawn. With that being said, judgment in favor for the plaintiff. Possession only. Court's adjourned.
Thank you.
Well, it's kind of real simple, Your Honor. I've been working with her on paying her rent on time, and she just hadn't been able to make it for the last. I think we talked, and she had was not working at a job or whatever, and I've told her some things to maybe help her get her income with going to Salvation Army and stuff like that, because I've had people in the past that have helped tenants come get income so they can keep their place or whatever, and she just haven't paid. So I'm at the point now where it's $1,200 behind, and I just can't continue to allow her to stay without getting any kind of income at all. And that's basically it. Cause I mean, like I said, I've worked with her. She's know I've worked with her. She's been a long tenant, and but like I say, we're at a point now where it done got a little bit too far behind.
Okay. So looking at your lease, your monthly rent is $950 per month, is that right?
Yes.
And she owes how much for February?
Hold for a second. I may work, sir. Just noise that quick. It's gonna be all good.
I'm sorry.
I said I'm at work, so it's gonna stop. The noise is gonna stop in just a second.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just so for February, are you saying she owes what, close to, you say 950, 12? How much did she owe for February?
Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm at work, so it's just gonna take 1 second. This noise is gonna stop.
Okay.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption. It got to a point where I allowed her to start paying by the week because she wasn't able to pay the rent by the month. So I broke the weekly payment up to $240 a week, and she stopped paying last month around February when I filed it on the 20th. The week before is when I got the last payment, and so she hadn't paid me since February 20th of last month. So that's why it's going into 5 weeks at $240 a week. I think I added up wrong. It should be 1,200 instead of 1,220. I think I wrote down 1220 on the report.
Okay. So you all changed, you amended your lease to
Yeah, we did,
going weekly instead of monthly.
right, because she couldn't afford to pay it monthly. So I came up with a plan for her to pay it weekly so that she could still have a place to stay. And
So,
she's been doing pretty good it's been over a year for sure.
so the rent, to at 240 a week, that's 960. So it's not that much of a difference than
Right,
what the monthly rent was.
right.
Okay. All right. I noticed a vacate. I see that you provided me with a picture that you actually went to the post office and mailed it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Anything else before I move on to the defendant?
No, sir, that's it.
Ms. Stewart, here's your opportunity to defend yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Yes, sir. He's correctly. I wasn't paying monthly, I was paying weekly, and I had lost my job. So it was like right around income tax time come. So we agreed. I'm gonna pay him the money like in my taxes. But after the government shut down, a lot of stuff was delayed. And that's the reason why I haven't paid him. And I've been looking for another place, jobs work like that, but it ain't coming yet. So we yeah, I got my taxes to pay to uh to catch up with my rent because none of that's not what I do. I pay my rent on time, but after I lost my job, that's what the delay. I mean, I'm saying me paying rent because I was paying like every week, and so I I get my taxes on the 15th of this month. So I found out today, but that's the reason why I told he said he gonna wait until I get my taxes so I can catch up, and then start over. But like I say, he had been working with me, whatever. But we agreed. Like I used to pay me. We agreed that when I get my tax, I was gonna catch up on my rent. But after the government shut down twice, that they made stuff delayed, and I'm still not working right now. So you know what I'm saying. So that's the agreement that we had made. You know what I'm saying. He said I owe him $2,000. I think he added stuff on because I owe him all that money. This is what, April, May. Okay, that's right. That's about right. But still, we agreed that when I get my tax, I was gonna catch up with my rent. But since everything delayed and everything like that, you know what I'm saying, what by the government being shut down, they haven't sent it in yet. Everything is processed and everything. And I receive my text on the 15th because they just now start processing people's stuff.
So
But we did agree about that. I had on speakerphone and my uncle was over here. He heard us agreeing. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I'm trying, and I know you can't sell nobody's house for free. I know that, but you know.
So y'all had an agreement for you to, you to pay your rent when you got your taxes, but the taxes got held up because the government was shut down.
Yeah, by the shutdown.
Oh,
And they shut down twice. So it's basically not. I mean, I'm not trying to stop paying him his money because I like stare.
well, you made one factual statement is you can't stay rent free, and he filed the case against you. So apparently he's not wanting to work with you anymore. So that's why he filed the case. He doesn't want to work with you no more. He wants you out of his house. So with that being said, he did prove
Can I
his
say
case.
another one more thing? Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but like he say that, but then like if when I get the money and give it to him, everything changed up.
I have no control over that. He filed a case. He hadn't told me nothing like he was gonna try to work with you. He's in court right now. He ain't said nothing about, hey, I want to work
Yeah,
with
I
you.
seen him. I know, I seen him.
Okay. He wants you out of his house. That's how I'm seeing it. He don't want you in his house no more. He don't want, you know what I'm saying? He wants you out. So with that being said, he proved this case that you didn't pay your rent. He wants you out of his house. Now, that being said, there's going to be a judgment against you. The judgment is going to be for the back rent based on what has been told to me in court. Y'all went weekly and you made your last payment right around the end of February. So I'm going to say you owe $240 for February. For March, $960. In April, we're looking at $960. Judgment is going to be back rent, $2,140 plus court costs. He paid court costs as well. That will be added to the judgment. You have the right to appeal the court's decision. Appealing the court's decision means you disagree with my decision for ruling in his favor, and you want your case heard by another judge at the McLennan County Court of Law. In order for you to appeal this case, you would have to post an appeals bond of $1,920. That's if you want to appeal it. You have
Can I
6
ask one
days.
more question?
You know, ma'am.
All right.
You have 6 days from today's date to appeal this decision. I'll give you the opportunity to ask questions when I'm up through, okay? You have 6 days from today's date to appeal. All right. If you do not appeal and you're still staying there, then he will take the next legal action against you, which is have the constable serve you with one more notice, giving you 24 hours to move out. So those are the options that the court is going to tell you about. Either you appeal or the constable is going to serve you with another notice. Anything else, the court is not aware of, and the court has no jurisdiction to uphold. With that being said, I will entertain your question. Go ahead, ma'am.
If this is a question for Eric, Mr. Eric. If I get
Miss Miss Stewart, if you would like to have a personal conversation with Mr. Forward, I can put you all in a breakout room. This is a conversation that I'm not privileged to, and you can speak with him privately. Mr. Ford, would you like to speak with the tenant privately at the conclusion of this hearing?
No.
Okay. That being said, Waco Housing Authority filed a petition, which is a sworn complaint against you. In their sworn complaint, they are telling me or swearing to me that you did not pay your rent for the months of January, February, and March. And at the time of filing this case, you owed $708 in back rent. Ms. Mendoza, she's going to speak first. And while she's speaking, I'm going to ask that you, Ms. Medrano, do not interrupt her. Okay, Ms. Medrano?
Yes, sir.
And then afterwards, once Ms. Mendoza is through, I'm going to give you, Ms. Medrano, the opportunity to defend yourself. And while you're speaking, I'm going to ask that you, Ms. Mendoza, do not interrupt her. Okay, Ms. Mendoza?
Yes, sir.
All right. With that being said, Ms. Mendoza, you can proceed with the case against the defendant.
Okay. Like the documents state, Your Honor, Ms. Medrano has not made any payments for January, February, or March. She did drop a money order on February 7th for $236. So I guess that would cover one of the months, but with April being here, we're still 3 months behind. So the balance is still $708 in past due rent. Other than that, that's the only thing that we have for her.
All right. What is her portion of the rent? What is she responsible for?
Her portion is $236.
And how much does housing subsidize for her?
$866.
And you said she did make a payment on February 7th of $236, but that was
It was April 7th.
It was April 7th. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Hey, April 7th. She just made a payment of $236 on April 7th. And so that is what you're saying took care of January's rent.
Correct.
Okay, so she still owes for February, March, and April.
Yes, sir.
All right. And according to your petition, which also the sworn complaint, You're swearing to me that the notice to vacate was mailed to the defendant on February 9th, via first class mail, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You also provided me with proof that, or at least an affidavit or a statement showing that it was mailed out from the main office. I have that. You provided me with a copy of notice to vacate. I do see that at the time that you mailed this out to her, you state that she owed 507, but that did include late fees. There's a sworn statement. There's a ledger. I have a lease. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell me before I move on to the defendant?
No, sir.
Okay, all right. Ms. Madrano, here's
Yes,
your
sir.
opportunity to defend yourself. Tell me why you feel like you should not be evicted. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm not sure if Regina still works in the office with you guys or if she doesn't, but whenever I moved in, she never showed me where my mailbox was until I received the eviction notice letter that states that I believe it was March 9th or February 9th that says that there was something mailed out into my mailbox. And even then, I still went and I tried to get into any mailbox that I could with the keys that I did have, and I was not able to get in. I've I made several emails out to her, and they kept getting rejected. I was trying to tell her my situation as to why I was late on my rent, but I could never get in contact with her. Now, this past Monday, when y'all did, well, I believe it was Tuesday for you guys, because I did try to go into the office Monday, but the office was closed. And so I was trying to explain myself to her as to why I was late. But like I said, I couldn't get in contact with her. Whenever I would go onto my portal to sign in, it was still saying that she was my landlord lady with as of and the date and her email. But like I said, I couldn't get in contact with her at all. Nobody ever told me that she was moving or anything. Like I never received a new email telling me who my new landlord person was.
So just want to make sure I'm hearing you correct. Your defense is that Regina, the old apartment manager, um, did not tell you where your mailbox was, so you're not getting any mail.
Correct.
Um,
Is the
yeah.
reason why I didn't know that there was a written form sent to me until the sheriffs came and knocked on my door and gave me a whole packet. And the reason why I fell back on my rent was I was having vehicle problems. I couldn't get to work and from work, and I also couldn't get childcare at the time due to that fact. And I was explaining to her in my email that I'm a single mom. I'm trying the best I can, at least for my kids, to keep a roof over their head. Now that I'm back and able to get to what I need to do, I was able to make that payment to you guys. And I also noted her in the email that I sent that I was able to work that at $708 back to you guys if I had another chance at this.
So you attempted to go into the office Monday, the office was closed,
Yes, sir.
and today is Thursday. So why didn't you go Tuesday or Wednesday?
I've been having to use my mother's vehicle and
You're at the
Wednesday.
apartment complex. It's
Excuse
just
me.
walking distance. It's at the apartment's right there. It's walking distance.
I'm at my mother's house at the moment.
So you're not even at the apartment.
At the moment, I am not.
So okay. All right. Why aren't you at the apartment? Just out of curiosity.
At the moment, I am at my mother's house because I'm helping her.
Okay. Based upon everything I've heard in this particular case, sworn testimony and documents provided, it's my opinion that the plaintiff in this case does prevail. It's going to be a judgment against you, Ms. Madrano. It's going to be for back rent in amounts of $708. That's going to be for February, March, and April, as well as court costs in the amount of $144. You, Ms. Madrano, you have the right to appeal my decision. Appealing my decision means you disagree with my decision and that you want your case heard all over again by another judge at the appellate court, which in this case is the McLennan County Court of Law. In order for you to appeal this case, you would have to post an appeals bond of $472. If you cannot afford the appeal bond, I strongly encourage you to contact someone from Lone Star Legal Aid or Greater Waco Legal Services. They are legal pro bono, meaning that free attorneys. They can help you if you choose to appeal. Now, there's going to be a deadline if you choose to appeal. You have 6 days from today's date, including weekends, to appeal this case. If you do not appeal this case on or before that 6th day, and if you are still occupying the premises, meaning that if you still have belongings inside of the home and you have not given up any rights to the property, then the next business day, again, if you don't appeal and if you still have items in that home, the next business day, Waco Housing Authority may take the next legal action against you, which is the filing of a writ of possession. If it gets to that point, the constable will serve you with another notice, giving you 24 hours to move out. Any questions before we move on to the next case?
So if I do appeal, I'll have until my next hearing, correct?
If you do appeal, it's going to be up to you to provide proof to the higher court as to why you feel like you should not be evicted for non-payment of rent. That is the purpose of appealing this case.
Okay, yes, sir. Because like I said, I'm able to make that payment at the moment. I just wasn't sure if I had another chance with you guys.
The appeal is not to give you another chance.
Okay.
The appeal is you filing a legal disagreement, trying to override my decision that's being made today.
Okay.
Far as any type of payments and negotiations and things like that, that's something that should have been done prior to today.
Okay, yes, sir. Like I said, I'll try to go up there on Monday, but nobody was up there. There was some guy up there, but he was like, since they're not in the office, I know he said something about they're not in the office on Fridays and Mondays anymore.
Okay. Well, with that being said, even if they're not open at the main at the central at that location, the main office is always
Yes,
open.
because I did go
Okay.
up to the cop location as well.
Mhm. So with that being said, there are resources out there that you should have taken advantage of. Again, you have the right to appeal my decision, and I cannot make them take any money after today. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Padrona. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Looks like I have both parties here representing Waco Housing Authority. I have Karina Mendoza. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And it looks like I have one of the defendants, you, Miss Michelle Williams. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, this pertains to the address in question at 1716 Abbott, Waco, Texas, 76704. Without further ado, the bailiff is going to swear both of you in, and then we will continue on with the case.
You can raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Yes.
Yes, I do.
All right, this case is an eviction suit. Waco Housing Authority filed this case against you, Miss Williams. In their petition, which is a sworn complaint, they are swearing to me that you did not pay your rent for the months of October 2025 through March of 2026. And at the time that they filed this case, which was on March 20th, 2026, they are swearing to me that you owed $1,913. So what's going to happen first is Waco Housing Authority, they are going to get the opportunity to speak first. It's going to be up to Waco Housing Authority to provide proof to me that you, the defendant, did not pay your rent and that they did everything they were legally supposed to do prior to this point. While the representatives from Waco Housing Authority is speaking, I'm going to ask that you, Ms. Williams, refrain from interrupting them. I need to make sure I hear everything that they're saying. Okay, Ms. Williams?
Yes, sir.
Once the Waco Housing Authority is through, Ms. Williams, you will get the opportunity to defend yourself. It will be up to you to provide proof to me that you should not be evicted from this property because you did pay your rent or whatever reason you feel like you should not be evicted. And while you are speaking, I'm going to ask that the representatives of Waco Housing Authority do not interrupt you. Okay, Ms. Mendoza? Ms.
We
Mendoza?
ready? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
No, what I was saying, I want to make sure that you do not interrupt her.
Oh,
while
yes, sir.
she's here? Okay. Will everyone have a good understanding of what to look forward to before we move forward with this case?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Mendoza, you can present the case against the defendant. Go ahead.
So Ms. Williams, Your Honor, moved into Acela Maxi on September 23rd. At that time, she did make her prorated rent and her security deposit, but we have not received any payments since then at that time. I'm not sure why the previous manager hadn't filed before I got here in February, and so that is why we are filing now. And we would like to amend it to add April's as well. April's rent is real at $334.
How much is her portion of the rent? What is she responsible for?
Her portion is $334.
And how much does the government subsidize?
550 or 551 is the difference. 885 is the rent, and the 551 is the difference.
Okay, so again, based on your records, she paid the deposit, but has not paid any rent since taking
Yes, sir.
the apartment or
Yes,
moving
sir.
into the apartment. Notice to vacate, according to your petition, which is again the sworn complaint, you're swearing to me that this was mailed via first class mail on February 9th to the defendant. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what type of notice was this?
It was a 30-day notice.
Okay. You filed several documents with the court. We're just going to go over those briefly to make sure I have everything that you submitted. Let's go over with you. I do see on February 9th, notice of proposed termination of lease. Is this your notice to vacate?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I do have another document, it's a sworn statement of mailing. And this comes
Yes,
from
sir.
your office there, saying that they're swearing that it was mailed out on that day. The next document I have here is the ledger. It does not show any payments according to this ledger being made to the being made by the defendant. And as you stated, the only thing that you reflect is a payment of you know what, $391 on October.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at that time, I just want to make sure at that time, whenever she first signed the lease, was she responsible for all of her rent or just a portion?
The $334.
Okay, so
Her portion.
that's what it's been since October 1st. It has not been reduced to any way, form, or fashion.
No, sir.
Okay, just want to make sure of that. And I do have a lease. This lease is signed between both parties on September 23rd, 2025. Anything else that you would like to present to me before I move on to the defendant?
No, sir. That is all.
Okay, Ms. Williams, here's your opportunity to defend yourself. Go ahead.
Okay, that is true. But this is what I was going through. I moved in September 23rd, as she stated. October 17th, I broke my ankle. I wasn't able to work. I tried to go back to work October 21st with the broken ankle. I got all the proof in my phone from doctor's notes, everything. Once I got the doctor's notes from my ankle being broke, and I went back to work October 21st, I had an accident at work to where I fell. I had to contact workman's comp because I had a on-the-job accident.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take physical therapy because I broke my ankle. I got a letter from my doctor stating that I wasn't going to be able to work. I wasn't going to be able to go back to work till January middle of January because of my broken ankle. I emailed that in on the website, the housing website.
When did you notify housing that you
Uh,
lost your job and
Well, I hadn't lost it then. At that point, what I'm talking about, I hadn't lost my job yet.
but you weren't bringing in any money?
No.
Okay.
That's why I emailed. They told me when I first signed the lease that I would have to email them everything through the portal. I emailed them that information because I got another message stating that all my documents were received. I had got, I emailed them, letters from Athletico where I was taking my physical therapy at. I emailed them all that. Okay. During that time, I kept telling workman's comp that I couldn't work because my back was hurt too much. I couldn't stand up a long time at work. Well, instead of them taking the pressure off of me, they added more pressure to me. Well, when they did that, it caused problems with me working. Well, during all this time, I had already filed for my disability. During this time, I had got approved for my disability. I sent a letter in stating that too.
So
That-
let's take a timetable here. You moved in September, right? October is when you had your first accident with your ankle.
Yes.
You submitted all of the documents to housing authority that you weren't able to work, and you sent it through the portal.
Yes, sir.
And you have that proof on your phone.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the housing authority sent you a response showing that they received.
They never, no, no.
They
sir.
just so what type of response did you?
The only thing I received was a response through the portal saying that my documents were received.
Right. Okay, you got a response through the portal.
Yeah, through the portal.
That your documents were received.
Yes.
When did you receive that response? What day was that? In October of 2025?
Yes, it was in. I don't want to say it was in what day it was in October, but I know I got a response. Because I got the website on my phone. I was gonna have me send it. Send me a code to my phone.
Okay, so let me just I just want so you say that October, November, let's say October, November, you submitted everything, you received a response showing that they did receive your documents.
Yes, sir.
That showing that you couldn't work. So
Yes.
you filed for workman's comp. Okay.
Yes.
Now, were you being compensated while you were like short-term disability, anything like that for workman's comp?
Okay, that's why I ran into an issue because I was going back and forth with the workman's comp representative about it. So, I kept telling him that I was hurting too much. I couldn't stand up at the job. Well, instead of them stating for me to have less work, they up my lifting at work to where they caused a problem. So I was already seeing a neurosurgeon in the process because I had already filed for my disability. Okay, so my doctor had referred me to a neurosurgeon, but workman's comp wouldn't let me see the neurosurgeon that I had got for myself because workman's comp, if you have your own doctors, they won't pay for it. You have to go through their doctors. Well, I told them, I have to see what's going on with my back because it's hurting too much to stand up. I can't stand up long periods of time and went through all that to where I had to go through the process of either I had to do what workman's comp wanted me to do or I had to get my own doctors and do what I felt like I needed to do for me. So that's what I did. I did what I needed to do for me. Okay. But during this time, around November, I received a letter from disability stating that I was disabled. Okay.
They say you're fully disabled or?
Yes, sir. Fully disabled. Yes, sir. I sent in that paperwork too to showing that my income was going to change.
You sent all of that to them?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
what
sir.
month did you do that?
I sent that as soon as I got the letter. I got the letter around the first part of November. So I sent that letter in then.
Okay, so you throughout from September, from the time that you moved in September up until November, maybe December, you weren't bringing in any money at all.
No.
No income.
No,
So you finally get the notification that you are going to be considered disabled,
yes,
fully disabled,
yes,
and the government's going to provide you with some assistance financially.
yes, sir.
So how much are you bringing in now with your disability?
$940 a month.
$940 a month. And you
Yes.
reported that to
Yes, sir.
Housing Authority.
Yes, it was a
And-
letter that they sent me that stated that it was
Okay.
fully favorable decision. That's the only thing
And
I
that
have
was
to
November,
pay.
December, right?
Yes, sir.
So have you been getting any money from your
Yes.
disability?
Yes, I have.
And so why haven't you paid your rent?
Okay. The reason why I haven't, because was waiting for them to call me back, because they told me when I first signed the lease that, but I done saved up I got the money. I done saved up every month's rent. It's on my card. I can show you on my phone what I got it. Nobody ever called me about the change.
What
Okay.
change?
The change of my income. Okay. So during that time, got that straight with the workman's comp people about
Okay,
me
I
seeing
got
my
you.
own doctor.
I got
Okay, so finally got in to start seeing a neurosurgeon. December the 18th, my daughter had went to jail for child neglect. So and I got the paperwork here too, to where I had to go and get my grandson, or he would have to go with CPS.
you. Okay, tell you what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. All right. This is what I need for you to do. All right. You're gonna need to go by the office. Okay, because apparently they don't have what you have. If they did, they probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
All right. So what you're claiming is that your income was reduced to zero for the months of September, October, from the time that you moved in up until November,
Well, really, January.
January.
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't start bringing in, you didn't start getting any income until January, which was 900 and something dollars. But your rent should be 30% of your income, which is still going to be roughly 300 some dollars.
Yes.
Okay. And so that's how housing's calculating it, especially with this new program, based on my information. Now, with that being said, you're saying that you submitted the documents, but you never received anything in regards to recertification during this time frame.
No.
And the manager pretty much just told me that, hey, look, she don't know what happened with the old manager, don't know what's going on. So both of y'all are clueless and y'all are not talking to each other. That's what I'm getting. And so, Ms. Mendoza, tell me a little bit more about this. Do you know anything about what's been submitted, any types of recertifications? Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I went and pulled up the portal. It shows that she started a change on November 10th. It was incomplete. And then on November 11th, she submitted 2 documents. One is a doctor's note that says that she was treated in the clinic October 21st with a broken ankle, and they anticipate her recovery around January of 2026. And then the second document is a letter from Social Security that says notice of decision fully favorable. It has no dollar amounts. It says another office will process my decision, and they should receive something within the next 40 to 60 days. And that's the only
That's
thing
it.
that's
Okay.
in there. So
All right,
it
so
looks like she stopped working. I mean, she didn't pay October's rent, so she was
And
still working in October. And
Well-
then she didn't submit anything showing she wasn't working, other than
And so-
she had a broken ankle.
So this is what we're gonna do. I know your office is usually closed, but we need to make sure that not only I want to make sure that we are in compliance with TDHCA and housing. When I say we, I mean as a community, the courts, and you all included. Okay. So apparently there's been some mishaps and some steps that weren't actually completed, and there's no one's fault on this. All right. And so what I'm going to ask that you do is meet with the tenant, figure out exactly what's going on, get with if you have to get with the main office to figure out how y'all can make sure that y'all were in compliance with everything and that she was in compliance with everything. And if the main office says, well, no, she still has to go, then we'll revisit this in 7 days. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Mendoza.
Your Honor, also, I mailed her a letter to come in for an appointment. We're open every Tuesday and Thursday. And I sent her a letter to come in on February 26th at 10 a.m. She failed to show up. So
But you gave her the notice to vacate in February, so I'm just trying to figure this out.
that notice I sent her was because we got a report from a police officer of something going on and we needed her side of the story. And since she failed to come in, I've sent her the warning for what the police officer told me.
And then that would be a different incident. So with that being said, if this case right here that we are in today, it's for non-payment of rent, not for other lease violations.
I
So,
understand that, but if
again-
she had come in on the 26th when I sent her the letter, we could
Ms.
have discussed
Mendoza,
it
Ms.
at that time.
Mendoza, Ms. Mendoza. Okay. I'm just letting you know, I'm not going to make a ruling on this case today. I'm going to reset it for 7 days. If you're reluctant to make sure that your housing authority did everything they were legally supposed to do, that's on you. Ma'am, I'm strongly advise you to contact TDHCA. Okay? Contact TDHCA and make sure that you are, make sure that everything is being done correctly. All right?
But in my defense,
I'm not going to hear anything else in regards to this case. I'm going to reset it within 7 days. You need to contact TDHCA if they're reluctant to work with you to make sure that y'all are doing everything right in accordance with housing. Then we'll revisit this in 7 days. I'm going to, both of you will receive hearing letters within the next matter of fact, I'm going to tell you the next date and time you're going to be here because this hearing is not going to last that long. They can just be bad. All right. Case is going to be reset for next Thursday, April 16th at 10:30. You have the option of appearing remotely, or if you'd like to, Ms. Williams, you can come back in person. Again, I strongly encourage you to make sure that both parties have complied with all federal rules and regulations as they pertain to HUD and or TDHCA. We will revisit this case within the next 7 days. Ms. Williams, you may be excused.
oh, can I just look this up and it'll give me a phone number? The TDA.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
just look up TDHCA and then it'll give you a phone number, or you can call 211 and then you could ask to speak with the housing navigator and they can, help you out. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.